G'day everyone. Today we got another little opening video to happen today. As you can probably see on screen now, we're going to do a bit of a comparison as well, and a couple of little servo updates I'm going to do to several other models. But if you've seen the latest videos on YouTube and latest reviews, you'll find them involved in this little car, which is actually came in with a bit of thunder behind it. This is the WLtoys 144001 model, and I only received it the other day. I had a quick peek, didn't open anything, so we're going to do that on camera today. And so let's see what the difference is between this and this model here. Is in fact the HSB High Speed Kid King Pro brushless edition. So let's get into it, and I'll just angle the camera just a little bit further so we can see what we're doing. Move that car back, move that back this way. So as you can see here, supposedly 60 kilometers an hour out of the box. Looks like it's boasted a lot of metal on this car, which we'll cover a little bit more as we bring it out. It is a 1/14 scale. It does have a brushed motor, but it's a 550 brushed motor, and it can run to cell LiPo. And let's try and open this little guy. There. That's pretty much what you're getting in the box. Yeah. A little bag of goodies. And yes, this is the green and blue model. Looks pretty good so far. Some packing. Nothing in there. Undoubtedly be the handset hiding in there. Nothing in there. That's pretty much it. Put the little car down, too far forward. There we go. I haven't heard too many reviews about the handset, but it's nothing negative and nothing great, so I'm guessing it will work just fine. We'll cover that in a second. So this is the 144001 WLtoys. What I'm going to do is let's put him down there, and I'm going to compare him. Let's get him better in the shot there, and I'll compare that one to HSB 1/16. Not too much of a difference. Let's see if we can get a better angle so we can see a little clearer. It's a little longer, not too much more. Most of it's actually the spoiler, I'd say, but that's not too bad. But weight-wise, the WLtoys definitely has the extra weight. Put this body off and let's have a look-see inside. Not a bad little graphic body on it. Not bad. Still got its protective cover on it, so that's what that is once we're ready to use it. Okay. And yes, definitely it's got a much bigger motor in it. Small size servo though. I'm too sure if it can do an upgrade on that to actually get a full size servo, or even if it's needed, this might be really good, and might not need it at all anyway. Metal shock towers, metal turnbuckles for the adjustment of your cambers and your towings, camber, metal drive shafts, another metal shock tower. You got metal pivot pin braces on front and rear. And you see the rear as well, and the back. And number one thing you probably notice is metal chassis itself, Chazowski, and full blown metal shocks as well, and metal drive cups as well. So it does boast a lot of metal, and it does have a lot of metal on it. Also, lead pin for the steering is actually metal. That looks very thin, but I suppose that servo is a small one. It does come out of the box with a LiPo. Bit difficult to get in and out, and it is, go on this side of the camera. I don't know if it's going to pick that up, and if I have it the right way up. Let's have a look, see. There you go. 7.4 volt, 1500 mAh, 2-cell LiPo battery. I'm going to run it on a bit bigger, not 1500, I'm going to run a 2200 Ripsaw LiPo battery, which I ran in this one. See how it handles that. This does claim it has metal diffs, but we'll actually put that back. It does say it has metal diff housings inside. We will probably take a look at that and see if that's true. See if it has any grease, because I've noticed a lot of YouTube videos have said that's pretty smooth, and it might not actually have anything in it. You know, it's got a bit more fight to it. This is very, very light and smooth. And I think, by the look of it, you can actually move this battery stopper actually forward. If you see there, you got the 2 holes. You can actually move this forward if you want to run a larger cell or larger pack in there. It might actually fit in there a little bit better than this one does anyway, because as you kind of wedge it, and you've got to, as you can see there, you've got to kind of pop it in there. Stops it coming out, but it's also a little bit of a hassle. Up there, you do have a metal engine mount to it, so even though you do have the room for an upgraded motor in it and metal housings and that, I'm not sure about the spur gear just yet, but you could run a smaller brushless system in it, maybe even the Kid King brushless system in it. It does have a 2-in-1 speed controller and receiver. Not sure how that's going to affect anything. I'm not sure if you can actually fit more things in there to adjust for having a separate receiver and a separate speed controller. Other than that, we'll see how it handles its power. Comparison wise, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. This is actually for my daughter. Car for my daughter to replace her Hunter. I don't think it's quite quick enough for her now, and I don't want to upgrade it, because upgrading it you end up having the Kid King problems that I've been having with that car sitting in the background. That car in the background has had a lot of issues. As soon as it sees a LiPo battery, in fact, drops a diff. It does not like the extra power, it can't handle its own power. So I'd like to see how this one goes, if it can handle that 550 motor, and it does in fact have metal gears. That'd be a really, really good base to see if it can handle an upgrade. And as you can see, I'll probably bring the Kid King forward. This is not about the Kid King, but this is just for a comparison. There you are. It's already blown the front diff, and I already repaired it once. It's got metal. It blew the diff pinion gears. Stripped them totally out, they're plastic, and replaced them with Chinese steel ones. And now it's actually blown the ring gear on the diff, because they're still plastic. And I don't know what to do about that. There's no replacement options on the market for that differential other than the standard plastic replacement. And I got one run out of it, and it destroyed both diffs, front and rear. I've repaired them, got another run out of it, and it destroyed the front diff. So I don't think the rear is far away. So a little disappointing on that one. That's why I want to try to dabble in these smaller scale size cars and see if anything, if this can actually put up with its power. It seems to have a lot of power, a lot of torque with this bigger motor. Yes, it is brushed, but if it can put up with that, that's a good start, because I don't think that those Kid Kings or the HSP models could actually put up with that. We do have this smaller brush versions of the HSPs, and I haven't had an issue with one of them. The second one, it did, in fact, the pinion gear had a little metal shaft in it, and then there's a little plastic gear kind of epoxied to the end. And what actually happened, it didn't strip the gear, but it let go of the shaft, so the shaft would spin and the gear wouldn't actually drive the rear wheels. So we ended up having to replace that as well. So far one hasn't caused us an issue. So I'd like to see how this one goes. These tyres, they do feel kind of soft and grippy, but by the feel of them, I reckon they're good for pavements, concretes, and some minor light dirt. So I might end up going and see if I can get a bit more off-roady tyres for it. And maybe some rims, because these are already glued on here. Yes, they are. They are already glued on here. So instead of tearing those tyres off and putting other tyres on, I might as well just replace the whole gear. Anyway, what we'll do now, I'll do a part disassemble and see what's inside there, because what I've heard, they're actually clean. There's no grease or anything in them, so I want to definitely put grease in them. So I'm going to do a small tear apart, and then I'll bring you back and we'll have a look at what's inside. Okay, thanks. See you in a second. Okay, welcome back. This is in fact it blown apart. As you can see there, they do in fact have metal diffs, which is great. They look like a sealed component as well. I'm going to take that out and I'm going to check inside that and see if that's wet, because you can see how much grease is on there, and it is not much. I'll definitely re-grease that, but I'll travel you this way just a little bit. And you do in fact have a metal pinion gear, but plastic spur gear for a weak spot, because it is a solid drive line and it's all driven from here. As you see down here, if I can get the shock tower out of the way, it does have double ball bearings down the end here. Once you get a few things out of the way, I'm going to work on the front first, and then I'll bring you back again once I either get this little diff out and see what's inside that. So bear with us a second, I'll bring you back and I'll let you know what I find in there. Thanks guys. Okay guys, I have opened it. It does have some in there, focus, but not much. But as you can tell, internals of the differential are metal, so that is awesome. This little car can actually handle a fair bit of power put through it. It's all got to come down to this drive line. Looks pretty substantial. It's got to come down to that guy right there. I'm sure there'll probably be an aftermarket spur gear. It's got to come for it, but once we can work out that, see how it handles this first. I don't see it actually having any of the issues that the Kid King areas has had over its time of 2, maybe 3 runs. So this one looks promising, but I'm definitely going to do a video on its first run. And okay, there's a noisy bird. And let you know how it goes, but I will be greasing all this up because there's just not enough grease in there. But if they're gonna skimp on one thing, and it's probably tires, so a bit average I'd say, and the grease, I'm happy with that. It's better than having a massive floor of plastic plastic diffs. So see how we go. I'll bring you back. I'll start greasing this one up, and I might open the back and open the back differential and check that one, make sure it's all the same, and I'll bring you back, and we'll go from there. Okay, see you in a second. Okay guys, well, as you can see, it's all back together. I didn't bore you with the building of the rear diff. As you know, it was, well, as you probably don't know, but I will let you know that it was exactly the same as the front. Full metal, no grease inside. I've done that and reassembled the car, and he's back and ready to go. He's much smoother now. The shocks are still all good. I've adjusted them just for ride height. We still haven't had a battery in it yet. This, in fact, here is the handset for it. Feels kind of small, but it'll definitely do the job. It feels very light, but still very responsive. Has your usual trims for your throttle and your brake, your steering. Your on and off switch, I believe, is there. There we go. It's there, and you got several modes by the looks of it. I'll have to look up on the modes, but what they do, in fact, it takes 4 AA batteries, and it'll do the job. I don't see it being a problem. We'll just check on distance and everything when we're actually driving it. And yeah, so other than that, it seems pretty good. I don't think I'm going to have issues with this as I did with this car, but this, don't get me wrong, it was quick, and the car is built really well. Same sort of setup as this, more metal on this than there is on this, but durability wise it did quite well. Just unfortunately the diffs are a weak spot. Anyway, what actually came in the bag was just the manual, a USB charger for your LiPo. I'll use an actual RC LiPo charger battery, plus I'm going to run a 2200 mAh 30C battery in it and see how it runs on that. The 2200 30C was what destroyed that one several times and made it very scared of a LiPo battery. I think this thing's going to take it, and love it. They give you a little plastic wheel tool, I guess you call it, and with the manual, it gives you all your instructions of how to run it. It's got all the cute little cartoons and things, blown out, how to tune, how to clean, reassemble. It's pretty detailed. It was good. I didn't actually use it because I pulled that one apart several times, so this is very similar. But all your parts list, most will, you know, like to know where they can get parts for these cars. You can just, part support on them seems to be good, but it is a new model, so bear with it and see if maybe they do come out with an upgrade third gear for it, and then I think it'll be just about indestructible depending on how strong that metal is in that diff. But that's what you get with that. Also, you've probably seen on the side of my desk over here, these are the servos I'm going to try and use on my outcast steering. It just seems a little weak. I think it's a 16 kilo one that's in it. This one is 27 kilo. I seen on Kevin Talbot's YouTube channel, he says they're actually pretty good. I'll give it a try and see. It did take almost 2 months for these to come from Banggood, but I wasn't down a servo, so I was still enjoying the car, and see how these ones go. I am going to do something which probably most will think is blasphemy, but I'm going to take the 16 kilo servo out of the Armour Outcast, and I'm actually going to put it in my old TRX 2.5 Revo, because it's been sitting a while, and just trying to revive it, I noticed it had a locked up throttle servo, so the 16 kilo one from the Outcast will actually do it well. I don't want to put a 27 kilo on its throttle, so I had 2 of those, and that will be coming up in a further date. And yeah, so let's pop the shell back on there. As you can see there, the only thing I noticed, they do actually give you Dean's connectors because you're running the LiPo batteries, which is awesome. And let's the little car back together. So if this is coming handy for anybody, please help the channel out by adding a like or a comment. I will answer comments, and how I can do videos a little better. I'm not supported by WLtoys or Mother Energy drinks. Leave a like and a subscribe, and hit that bell button if you want to see what we're up to next. Next video will be actually running this car. My daughter will be driving and I will be driving, just to see how well it goes. We'll be trying it on different batteries. I will be getting upgrade tyres when we take it to the track, and we'll be running this battery as well as the Ripsaw 2200 mAh 30C batteries. So if you're interested in seeing that, hit that bell button and join us on the next one. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and look to see some comments from you, and see you in the next one. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Bye.